Persephone gathered a degree of composure and extended her right hand. She had just had her nails professionally manicured, wrapped, and polished earlier that day, and they gleamed like a well waxed red sports car. Persephone disliked the popular acrylic nails. Those long, fake fingernails often gave women what she called the possum effect. And if it wasn't a professional job, then it was those ugly press on nails that looked like women had glued pumpkin seeds to their fingernails. It had crossed her mind on more than one occasion that she hoped the women who opted for the long fake nails were washing their hands thoroughly after using the toilet. Otherwise, they could never cook anything for her. They could have they could have shit caked up in their nails from 2 weeks ago. Nice to meet you, Patrick. I'm Persephone. Every one of the fingers on her right hand held a flashy diamond and gold ring. She even wore a gold wedding band on her right thumb. She couldn't afford to do the same to the left hand, but told those who inquired that she was leaving that hand free for an engagement ring. Just Persephone. No last name, Persephone. Patrick questioned, eyebrows raised. He was looking deep into Persephone's eyes. Is he flirting with me? Persephone asked herself, but she answered Patrick with, I think Persephone is enough to remember now, don't you? Good point, Patrick replied, while pulling up one of the empty chairs that were scattered about the room. They were obviously extras for when the club ran out of seats up front. Patrick placed his chair between Jeff and Persephone's. While he was bending to sit down, Patrick's knee brushed up against, then rested on Persephone's exposed thigh. Persephone quickly pulled the lower flap of her coat over the exposed leg, forcing Patrick to move his knee a little. He's just mannish, Persephone thought, as Patrick gave her a sly smile and readjusted his position in the chair to allow her more room. Patrick pulled out a pack of camels from the breast pocket of his tweed jacket, fished out a cigarette, then returned the pack to his pocket. Next he pulled out a slim gold lighter with from the same pocket and lit up the cigarette, blowing the smoke absently in Jeff's direction. He looks a little like Bruce Willis, Persephone mused briefly as she caught Patrick's profile while he was giving Jeff an official handshake. Patrick then turned his attention back to Persephone. So is this your first time, Persephone? He asked while stooping over briefly to retrieve the ashtray that was under, she guessed, her chair. His head dipped dangerously close to her legs, and the act sent a slight quiver up Persephone's spine. As Patrick's head came back up, he gave her a quick wink. Yeah, are you a virgin? Jeff interrupted. Yet again, he was his own private audience. Persephone just looked at Patrick with a slight smirk and shook her head slowly, like a TV doctor might do when pronouncing to a weeping actor that their relative or friend was dead. Patrick almost choked on his cigarette smoke as he tried to contain his laughter at Persephone's facial expression. That's cold-blooded, Patrick commented through a chuckle. Paul Jeff mistook the laughter to mean that Patrick found what Jeff had said to be what Patrick was laughing at. He started laughing even harder and nudged Patrick 2 times in a buddy-buddy type of gesture. Patrick took on a serious expression, looked at the nudged arm, then at Jeff, then turned his body toward Persephone's direction and was about to ask her something else, when the MC's voice blasted through the speaker that was mounted over the door of their room. Persephone put her right index finger up to her lips to gesture that they all be quiet. She knew it was okay to talk, or so stated the rules that were posted on a court bulletin board near the employee's time clock. She had skimmed down the list, noting one or two don'ts that might affect her planned routine before she sat down. No profanity and no racial jokes were the two that concerned her out of the 10 rules. She thought, define profanity. You can use bitch, ass, damn, damn it, and a lot of other words that Persephone considered profanity on television. So define profanity. The MC seemed to be finishing up his routine early, which Persephone thought strange since the 4 amateur comics were only getting 15 minutes each, and that gave the MC a good 20 minutes now, and another 15 after all 4 had performed their routines to do more of his act. That was the order in which the other 4 amateur night shows that Persephone attended at the Comedy Palace had proceeded. None of the comics knew which one of them would be first, which left everyone guessing as to which position they would be called to go up. And that was just fine with Persephone. She didn't want to be sitting around back there knowing for certain that she would be the very first person. The speaker filled their room with the sound of the audience laughing at the stale jokes delivered expertly by the MC. They sounded eager for the entertainment tonight. Good, Persephone was ready to entertain, and she hoped the MC would call her name first. Farting and keeping those sheets down so the smell doesn't escape out of there. The MC continued with his dull routine, which he wasn't ending after all. He was actually running way past the time that the other MCs had stopped when Persephone viewed the show from the audience. Persephone wondered, if they like this lame shit, will they like my black perspective humor? She thought she would have to reevaluate her routine if she had time. But what if I'm first, she thought, and tried to stave off her doubt with a still strong feeling of certainty. Jeff and Patrick had been chatting quietly with each other. At least it looked as though Patrick was doing some serious talking, with his dramatic hand gestures and occasional pauses to puff on his dwindling cigarette. All the time he'd steal flirtatious peeks at Persephone, often trying to hold and penetrate her with his eyes and that ever-present sly smile. Hells yes, he's flirting with me, Persephone thought to herself. She felt her ears gradually growing warmer, like a shy schoolgirl. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Comedy Palace is proud to present our first victim, comic of our amateur night show. The MC seemed to be trying to do an impression of Ed Sullivan, but instead, Persephone thought he sounded more like the guy announcing the high wire act at a circus. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Patrick Pulaski. Patrick Pulaski. Everybody, let's welcome him to our stage. The MC could be heard clapping directly into the microphone, welcoming Patrick to the stage. And that concludes the next 4 pages. 8 pages altogether. We're going to do the first chapter here, guys. Yoo-yoo! Big Sister Almighty!